human, so we call it. No.
Anterior.
Humans. What do we call the front of humans? Anterior. You never, ever, ever, ever hear this called ventral in a human. Okay, anterior. Here's your anterior side. So this is the pulmonary trunk. This is the aorta. Superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. What's this thing?
Trachea.
Trachea. What are these? No?
Pulmonary arteries.
Pulmonary arteries. These are
Pulmonary veins.
pulmonary veins. There it is. Left common carotid artery. Left subclavian artery. Okay, so pulling this off, as we look inside, we can see that how thick is this compared to this? Skinny, fat. So this is the right side. Okay, so right side, which means, okay, this is right side over here. Okay? What's that? Big fat blue blood vessel up the front.
Pulmonary valve.
Pulmonary trunk. Why am I listening to you guys? Pulmonary valve. There it is. What is that?
Aortic valve.
Aortic valve. This is the tricuspid valve. This is the bicuspid valve. These are chordae tendineae. What's the function of chordae tendineae? To keep the valve from blowing back up into the atrium. Okay? Keep the valve from blowing up. What are these? Papillary muscles. What's in here? Trabeculae carnae. Okay. What chamber is this?
Right atrium. Right ventricle. Left atrium. Left ventricle.
Where'd the blood just come from?
Lung.
Pulmonary veins. Okay. Where's the blood going to? Okay. Boy, oh boy, I'm gonna have to see how particular they are. I'm gonna have to be more specific, aren't I? What's the next chamber it will be in? That ventricle. Okay. What chamber? What valve did it just go through? What's the next valve it will go through? Aortic valve. Aortic valve. Okay. What's that indentation right here?
Fossa.
It's past a week old. Fossa ovale, that's the one that's going to close over. It would be foramen ovale in an embryo. What's this?
Superior vena cava.
What's this?
Aorta. Pulmonary trunk. Inferior vena cava.
If this doesn't close up properly in somebody, it becomes what?
Atrioventricular.
Yeah, very close, very close. Not atrioventricular because it's not between the atrium and the ventricle. It's between the two atria, so it's atrial septal what?
Defect?
Defect, good. Okay, it's an atrial septal defect, which is commonly known as what type of problem?
Cause like a murmur.
It's a heart murmur, okay? It's a heart murmur. Okay? So when you ever hear people with holes in their heart, it's here. It just didn't close up right. It's a developmental problem. It's not a genetic problem. It's just strictly a developmental problem. Okay? Is it fixable?
No.
That's it.
Oh, no, there's
Yes. They have this really, actually very cool system that it's like two flat discs, right? They look like big buttons. Two flat discs with kind of a... Have you ever seen an empty spool of thread? Like an old school spool of thread, where it's got that skinny little thing like this and then the two discs like this? That's what the structure looks like that they use to fix it. Okay? So they just stop up both sides and it's connected by this little thing. Actually really cool.
Can you get it from smoking?
No. Sorry, little paranoid. I had it way before I started smoking.
No, that wasn't.
Oh, no, it's a developmental
Because I think
issue.
my grandma had that.
Yeah, she was born with it. It didn't close up at birth. Yeah, no. And they watch you really, really closely when you go through your growth spurt. Because at that time, everything's growing very, very quickly. Very rapid growth going on at that time. And, you know, that hole can go whoop and get a lot bigger. Or it could just stay the same size. Or what happens most of the time, it closes up during that period. So, but no, it's not from smoking. It's just a developmental defect. Okay. What's that? Ligamentum
Oh,
arteriosum. What was it embryologically? Ductus arteriosum. Okay, same word. Just ductus in the front instead of ligamentum. What are these?
Auricles.
Big and giant. What's that?
Auricles.
right.
The right auricle. Left auricle, what do I know is directly underneath here? Right atrium. These are right on top of the atria. Okay, so tell me when I get to the anterior side. Thank you.
Now you are.
Okay, how do you know? Okay, big diagonal right here, right? Cardiac veins. Alright, what is this?
Pulmonary trunk.
Pulmonary trunk, always the front. Always on the most anterior side. Pulmonary trunk. Aorta.
Superior
Superior vena cava.
vena.
Inferior vena cava. What? See, this one is actually much more clear for these. What are these? Pulmonary arteries, because it's coming right off of the trunk. So this one's kind of much easier to see than the other one, okay? Then these are pulmonary veins, okay? Get this off. Oh. Coronary arteries. Okay, coronary arteries. Right here. So that would be the very first branch off of the aorta before it even completely exits the heart. Then you would say, hello? Then you would say coronary arteries. Okay, inside here.
Pulmonary valve.
Oh,
Pulmonary valve,
Aortic valve.
aortic valve. Okay. What valve is that?
Tricuspid. Bicuspid.
Chamber?
Right atrium.
Left atrium.
Left,
Right
No,
atrium.
right atrium.
Left atrium.
right ventricle. Left ventricle.
What is that? Papillary muscle. Yeah. What side of the heart is that?
Posterior.
Posterior, good.
Anterior. Pulmonary trunk. Pulmonary arteries. Aorta.
1, 2, 3.
Brachiocephalic. Left subclavian. There's left common
Left
carotid.
common carotid artery.
Right.
Right common carotid artery. If I turn this, well, I don't have to turn it around. So what is that one?
Right subclavian
Right
artery.
subclavian artery.
Right common
Right common
carotid.
carotid artery. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Superior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. That. Ligamentum
Arterius.
arteriosum. What's the embryological structure called?
Ductus.
Ductus
Arterius.
arteriosus. Chamber.
Right atrium. Left atrium. Right ventricle. Left ventricle.
What valve is that?
Tricuspid.
What are these strings?
Chordae tendon.
Chordae tendinae. What's their function?
To keep it from coming.
Keep those atrioventricular valves from blowing back up into the atrium. What's this? Hard to tell from there, I'm sure. Papillary muscle. What is that?
Pulmonary.
Pulmonary valve.
Aortic valve.
Aortic valve. Okay, so where did the blood just come from?
Left ventricle.
Left ventricle. Where's the blood going to?
Like
Body.
breakfast fudge.
The body.
The body.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't say any more definitive than the body. Where did the blood just come from?
Upper body.
Yeah, the upper body.
Head and neck, head and arms, rather. Where's the blood going to?
Right atrium.
Right atrium. What's the next valve it'll go through?
Tricuspid.
Tricuspid valve. What valve did it just come from? Yeah, good. Let's see.